enough. Over here!
Oh, Archon.
I don't know why you always feel...
I guess if there are kids...
Maybe this is one of the cut...
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine.
Lynette!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you?
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had...
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing their...
Rather than worrying about them, don't let that calm...
Oh, right.
Traveler in Paimon, good to see you.
Are you kidding?
But you're actually right on time. The audience... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats.
Ooh, front row.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep...
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there.
Yeah, we'll just go to... these should be our seats. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike... Oh, cute!
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would...
Oh, wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry, oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you...
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linney, then. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in...
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet, what an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in...
Wait.
I saw you. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later, otherwise...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug...
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro...
All right, please wait just...
Yay! The show's finally about to start! They're dimming the lights! The show must be... Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right.
Thank you everyone. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna... Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks? Or does Lenny have actual...
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh,
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after you—
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be— Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that—
40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. Ah, what was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, that's—
25!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still—
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch—
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now.
8!
Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? Nope, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What happened? Is this part of the— Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic—
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl with—
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must—
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the— Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants. Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right! How can Linny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even... Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Linny, won't Then there's... But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here?
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney? Very well. The trial will be... Linney and his troupe are all potentials. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite...
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Good to hear. I'm sure everyone... I don't know whether what happened there on... As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself...
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were... Don't worry,
I think they look cute on...
You have good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watch... Good thing you agreed.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just... Oh, since we're going to...
Oh, well...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're... 'Tis truly a pity. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth, we should go...
Alright, let's go have a look while the... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see.
Huh?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cowell. Even though he hadn't joined the troop long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the prop. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of...
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even... I've seen a lot of Kate. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene.
So this is the rope that broke... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little... So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of... Wait! Why would you write up... Hello there! What are you...
The seats were all booked in advance. Sure, it's not like... Her name is Halsey. Apparently, the Magic Troop member. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all. That's how it seems to us.
Okay then.
No need to be so... It is of utmost...
The investigation team...
See?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's...
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl... Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so...
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny was...
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
I see that you're investigating. If you find any new and interesting leads.
We don't have too many... The thud? Oh!
Yes, exactly. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it much mind. I'm of the opinion, and when the pyrotechnics went...
Wait, wasn't the noise we...
Perhaps the balance wasn't... Oh, that's true.
That does
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be
Hey, you! Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also...
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus, Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle?
Well, I am...
My apologies, Demoiselle.
No need. You don't have to call me boss.
Okay, if you say so.
All merely trifling That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? Wait, but...
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. Anyway, a trial begins the moment...
Sounds more like you just...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times. All right, I've answered your question. Now...
Wait a minute!
Well, I say it does. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial...
Well...
And why would that be?
Most astute, no matter how what, and if that can be done.
All right, that... Now...
Wait! Since... That's more like it.
Far be it from me, you wish to...
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You...
Nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some prep...
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the opera...
No, we're not leaving. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo, so the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time, I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. All right, thank you for your help. This'll be... We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. My mom wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we?
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me, and these are my companions. Would you...
Oh, no.
Well, let's just...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other...
Ah, good eye. That's...
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's...
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given the back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside... Another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the step. The audience member would only be able to...
Right! You were talking about...
Ah, yes. A phonograph. My assistant and I had all...
And what about...
I was in the mezzanine.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of... And that's my favorite part.
So that's how it all worked! What?
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand...
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more...
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
A hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which... Wow.
Oh! Hi, my nose! And here's a broken Let's...
Oh! Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right! And do you really need... Ugh. This... place.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have...
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or... Oh, you're right! Let Paimon run... Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained this. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber
The plot? Huh. No wonder for...
In other words, the
Charges and then trial.
That's right. This is how a trial... That's right. The statements from both sides. To put it simply...
This also precludes any kind of...
Once both sides, then... Final.
Huh?
In practice, there is... yes.
Huh?
Because we've chosen...
They're concerned that... And even if that were not...
I'm ready to break it.
Whoa, whoa!
Of course. I just hope you...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings. I mean, what better way to...
Huh. Breaking out. Just kidding! Just kidding!
What do you mean?
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come...
Wait, you're carrying...
Yes, I must be...
I have eggs, sugar...
These three are quite the interest... From the way you had these two guys carrying... But you ended up doing...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouragement.
Oh, don't underestimate beat. Anyway, give
only
well...
Tea is ready to be served. No need for...
Down to business. However, the magician twins...
Exactly! Why would
the flower vase and the... resulting in the shattering... Perhaps the criminal...
Paimon thinks that makes...
True, but...
Huh. Could Halsey...
That's right. And even if she had... Nor does she have...
From the sound of things, your macarons are... What?
Please don't worry about it. At my...
No, besides, Paimon knows that if she... Wait. Even you don't believe... If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons...
Oh, Malus... So,
huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3
Exactly.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg...
What?
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what it would be. All
right, thanks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult...
Just relax. Even if everyone else... Besides...
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how...
To be honest?
No. We're already very...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terrible.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial... Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the...
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take... You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably was...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, What is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Paimon, we based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guy. Not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being right. So, you be the judge. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. What during our investigation, from that moment on...
Is that what you needed?
That's right. So, after...
That air vent was created during the...
Well, what should have been... That voice seemed on the way back. After that...
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the...
Because of that prophecy.
That's the only way we...
So, it was never my... But, like I said...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a
The current problem is that if we want to refute the Hydro Arc... Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction.
That took long enough. Now then, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. Countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When when the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the—
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linny experienced, and what he saw. Seems this won't... According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey. Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth. Linny did not...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him!
And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could... You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! Ha ha!
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a... Halsey is the missing person. Could there have been a third person? The deceased's name is Cowell.
That can... the killer was, in fact, Cowell!
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into... No one entered or left... Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... It would have been tough for both... The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between them. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and... No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. It would have been tough for both... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clap. Linny was not in the tunnel at that... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must... No one entered or left the The deceased's name is Cow. Halsey's clothing was in the The sound we heard may have come from a clash. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. It would have been tough for both people. No one entered or left.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpires...
If only we knew how...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel... It's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real life...
Excuse my
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between them. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence.
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually. If there's a similar method...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of since Cal was the deceased, but given that we aren't making much...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects.
We are still examining the item. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordials. The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning... One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by...
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving...
Could something so ridiculous actually...
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go.
Order! Order! Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the guards. Please continue examining Mr. Linney. It appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this...
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to... I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. The rope that held the water... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant... The water from the primordial sea should... I remember there was something else... The deceased's name is
It's in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact... His notes mentioned...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new I shall now invite him on stage to share it.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just... And we...
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Does this not my dear citizens, Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in... Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good...
Excuse me, everyone!
Miss, I must ask you not...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little mad? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linney. What in the...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting... But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's... Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell.
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the...
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now.
This time, we need to tell the entire story. Seems this won't... Seem... The strange sound was... The flower vi... Lillian.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So hearing the commotion, he did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but mistakenly believed the two broke the with no way of escaping.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the event...
Ah, so Bravo.
Now then, Lady Farina. Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before...
What, are you No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once... The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be... To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon. If all had gone to plan, realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures with it. From this Hooray,
Linny and Lynette!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette.
Great work. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve... How did you find the water from the primordial...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yeah? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and...
Yes, our boss discovered that the water... It can also be made into a potion. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness.
An outrage. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, It's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took my sister through several streets, and to my surprise, before long...
So you went from...
That was how we felt it, but I gradually he would constantly...
That doesn't seem too bad.
It took a while for me to realize. After one particular performance at a banquet, I waited a long time after we were... The answer he gave me was...
Oh no. But...
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to ferret out. All I saw was the moonlit ground.
So, she'd already...
That's right. She had rescued Father, the Knave. The House of the Hearth... I was hesitant, but she was also quick to
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and...
So, she believes...
That's right. Today's case has also proved all of us to us orphans.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis...
It's alright. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, if you should need anything at all in the future...
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this... Over, is it? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides! And given that...
Ah, I see. Well, sorry.
Don't say that.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters. Wait, shall we have...
Huh? Do we really...
Well, Anyway, it would just be a meal.
You don't have to
Oh, wonder...
All right, then.